So there has been some controversy stirring up the comic book world involving the upcoming Batman animated film, The Killing Joke. There has been reports that the movie was shown at this year's Comic-Con, and interesting enough, the first 30 minutes are a all-new prologue focusing or centralizing on Batgirl, before the remaining 45 minutes adapts the storyline of the original graphic novel. There is a forum post on NeoGAF from a fan who saw the film describing what happened within the first 30 minutes and expressing displeasure on the overall film. I'll post a link in the description below for you guys to check it out, but be warned, there are spoilers in the forum. The controversy mostly stems from the portrayal of Batgirl, aka Barbara Gordon, in the film, and the fact that the first 30 minutes focuses on the relationship between her and Batman. And by relationship, I mean romantic relationship. According to the forum post, and by the way, I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible in case if you guys decide not to check out the forum, Barbara Gordon as a young librarian who has started donning the Batgirl costume in order to attract the attention of Batman. Yep, that's right, she donned the Batgirl costume in order to attract the attention of Batman. Which is funny because she's done the same thing in the animated series, except in this one, it's mostly for romantic reasons instead of just seeking attention or some bullshit. Instead of a strong, mature superhero, she comes off as a defiant child with the biggest "notice me, senpai" attitude towards Batman. Batman, in response, doesn't have time for that shit. There's a moment where Batgirl is in trouble and Batman comes to her aid. Then Batman tries to end Barbara Gordon's schoolgirl crush on him. This results into an argument that leads into them having sex, which is actually quite funny. You can actually see the sex scene on Twitter. Somebody actually did post that. Okay, if this is true, what kind of shitty fanfiction is this? Who wrote this? Who thought to themselves, this was a good idea? Brian Azzarello. It's Brian Azzarello. Brian Azzarello. 100 bullets, Brian Azzarello. New 52 Wonder Woman, that Brian Azzarello. Oh my god, oh my fucking god. Again, if what the forum post said is true, it's quite understandable why fans are pissed. Some might think that she's a jilted romantic interest who only exists in the story to justify Batman's ongoing conflict with the Joker, even though in the original story the only reason Joker went after Barbara Gordon was to get to Jim Gordon, her father, and get him to fall into insanity. Some also think that this relationship came out of nowhere, even though in Batman Beyond it's been confirmed that they had a relationship before. Which brings up a good question whether or not this movie goes with the Batman animated series and Batman Beyond's continuity. I don't think so, but if the answer is yes, and it turns out that this really does follow that continuity, then Batman Beyond Return of the Joker's continuity doesn't make any sense. If Barbara Gordon ends up paraplegic in The Killing Joke, how was she able to be active as Batgirl during the events of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker? More specifically, the flashback scene where Joker dies. But who cares? Who cares about continuity? We just want to make good stories. To be honest, this entire controversy doesn't affect me. I'm wondering why those 30 minutes even exist in the film, because this is more of a Joker story, not a Batgirl story. According to Bruce Timm, one of the producers of the film, he explains, and I quote, "We thought if we were going to expand this to a feature length, we didn't want to just pan out the original story. So we took the opportunity to basically tell a Batgirl story, which we don't often get a chance to do so these days. And it was great because we could spend more time with her as a character and get to understand what she's all about and how she's similar to Batman in some ways and really different in others." See, I can actually understand and in some ways respect that. It comes to no surprise that additional story elements would need to be added to a movie version of The Killing Joke, considering that the comic itself is extremely short. Also, if I remember correctly, Barbara Gordon had a minor role in the comics, so expanding more on her role in the story is understandable. However, why include the romance plot with Batman anyway? I was under the impression that Batman and Commissioner Gordon are best friends, Barbara being Jim's daughter and all, and the fact that this romance subplot is added to this story is just weird and deeply disturbing to me, at least. Actually, isn't Batman presented as a father figure to the characters that make up the Bat family? You know, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Batgirl or Barbara Gordon herself, Batwoman, all those other characters. So Barbara Gordon having a relationship with Batman makes it all the more creepy to me. As long as it doesn't derail the quality of the story itself, then I don't really care much. But with all that said, the film isn't released until tomorrow, so we'll see if all of this is true or not. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. And we'll see when I watch the film tomorrow if this whole romance subplot derails the overall quality of the film or it enhances it. I'm not really sure, but like I said, we'll just wait until tomorrow and see.